All right, today we're looking at the solo section of Virginia Moon by the Foo Fighters. Let's start off with the chords. This is going to be a two-part lesson. Today is just going to focus on what the chord changes are and a simple way to arpeggiate them, just to understand where we can kind of move. There's a common tone between most of the chords, and just give us a basic layout of where we can start on the guitar, and then we can grow from there. So let's look at the chord changes. So first up, we have C sharp major 7. Now I'm going to highlight the common tone here between this chord and the next chord. So C sharp major 7, then to a simple C major chord. Notice those are the same. Then we head to an E flat 6 chord, E flat minor 6, I'm sorry. We have E flat, then a flat 3, and our 6 C. So E flat, G flat, C. Then we go to a B flat 9 chord. So still have that C ringing out. Then we head to a C sharp minor 6 chord. Now we get away from that C natural. Then we end with a C minor 7 chord. The first 4 chords share the C note. Head to the C sharp minor 6. Head down to this chord, to this A. Then we head to C sharp minor 7. So it creates a nice little leading tone throughout all those chords. Let's check out these arpeggios. So, starting with the C sharp major 7. We're gonna go C sharp on the 9th fret of the low E string, so that's root, major 3rd on the 8th fret of the A string, 5th on the 11th fret of the A, major 7 on the 10th fret of the D, 11th fret of the D string for the root, major 3rd on the 10th fret of the G, 5th on the 9th fret of the B, major 7th on the high E string, 8th fret, and back to our root on the 9th. And you just work it up and back. Now, in this example that I'm giving you, the tab, I don't resolve back down to the root here. I come from this descending from here straight to our next chord, which is that C major. So I drum down this 4th, and now I'm on my C major chord, my root on the 8th fret of the low E string, major 3rd on the 12th fret of the low E, 5th is going to be on the 12th fret, or sorry, the 10th fret of the A string, our root on the 10th fret of the D, 3rd on the 9th fret of the G, 5th on the 8th fret of the B, and back to our root on the high E string. Now, just like the other arpeggio, when I come down here, I'm going to go into my next arpeggio, which is that E flat minor 6. And I'm going to make it jump down here to the 6th fret, this B flat. So that's going to be the 5th of that E flat chord. So that brings me up here to my root. So starting on that 6th fret of the low E, remember that's our 5. Then we go to our root, which is the 6th fret of the A string, flat 3, same string, 9th fret, 5th, which is going to be the 8th fret of the D string. Then we come down to the 5th fret of the G. That's going to be our 6. Then we move up to the 8th fret, which is our root of the G. I'm sorry, of the E flat chord, but it's on the G string, 8th fret. Our flat 3, which is going to be on the 7th fret of the B. And then our 5th, which is the 6th fret of the high E string. Now, yes, we could go to our the 6th of this chord here, but I'm not worried about that right now. It's good to know where we are though, right? 5th, 6th, so always knowing that we got that whole step there that we can touch on. So. Right, so descending. Right, this is our 6. So when I get down here to my root of this E flat chord, now I'm going to roll, I'm going to bring my second finger up to this B flat on the 6th fret of the low E string to get into my next arpeggio. All right, so let's explore that much of it. So we got root on the 6th fret of the low E, major third on the 5th fret of the A string, 5th, which is going to be the 8th fret of the A string, our flat 7, which is going to be the 6th fret of the D string, to our root, and we're going to add our 9 now. So that's going to be our 5th fret of the G string. Major third's a whole step higher than that on the 7th fret of the G. Then we have our 5th on the B string, 6th fret. And I'm just going to jump straight to our root again. Now, our next chord is that C sharp minor 6. So this is actually, over a B flat. Obviously, it's the root, but we're going to turn it into an A sharp now. That's my that's the 6th of my C sharp minor 6 chord. So starting here, I'm going from my 6th on the 6th fret of the low E up to my root on the 9th fret of the E string, flat 3, which is going to be the 7th fret of the A string, my 5th, which is going to be the 6th fret of the D string, right? And then we want our 6. So our 6 is a whole step higher, right? Eighth fret of the D. Then I'm at my root here, the G string, 6th fret, flat 3, which is the 9th fret of the G string, my 5th, which is the 9th fret of the B string, my 6th, which is the 6th fret of the high E, and then we go up to my root, the 9th fret of the high E. We just come back down that. All right, so this is my flat 3, root. So when we come from our root, we want to go down here. Flat 3, root. Now I'm going to repeat that root again because that's the last chord is a C sharp minor 7. Root, flat 3, 7th fret of the A string, 5th. Now I'm going to go to my flat 7, which is the 9th fret of the D string. Sorry. Back to my root, which is the 6th fret of the G, flat 3, 5th, flat 7, root. Work our way back down. So this is just to get us started to play around with it. In the next lesson, I'll play the whole etude in time so you can hear that, but the tabs are going to be included. This is just an introduction to get to know where to put your fingers. Then we'll look at it, how to play it in time, and then we'll actually start expanding on that, how we connect the chords a little bit more other than that common tone between them, and really start creating a melodic phrase that works over this chord progression. So that's volume 1 on how to solo over Virginia Moon, just an introduction to the chords and the arpeggios around them. Stay tuned for chapter 2.